You wake up on an ordinary morning. The sun rises, birds are singing, the air feels familiar. Everything seems exactly as it should. But imagine discovering that your species was never meant to live here. That every city, every country, every human being exists on the wrong planet. It sounds impossible, maybe even ridiculous. But the real answer is far stranger. Compared with almost every other animal on Earth, humans are strangely vulnerable. Our skin burns in sunlight, our backs ache, our babies are born helpless. We cannot run very fast. We cannot smell like dogs. We cannot see in the dark like cats. For the smartest creature on Earth, we seem surprisingly fragile. Some people have even asked a bizarre question. What if humans are the aliens? Not visitors from flying saucers, but a species that somehow came from somewhere else. Before you laugh, let's follow the evidence. Because the truth is far more fascinating than science fiction. Before asking whether humans are aliens, you need to ask a simpler question. Why do humans struggle with things that other animals do so easily? Take the sun. Most mammals can spend hours outside without worrying about sunburn. Humans can't. Just a few hours under intense sunlight can damage your skin. Your DNA begins to break. Your body rushes to repair the damage. That repair process is what you call a sunburn. Then there's your back. Almost everyone experiences back pain at some point in life. It has become so common that many people think it's simply part of being human. But why? The answer begins millions of years ago. Your ancestors once walked on 4 legs. Over time, evolution reshaped the spine for upright walking. It was an incredible achievement. It freed your hands. It allowed you to carry tools. It changed the future of humanity. But evolution rarely creates perfection. It creates solutions that are good enough. Your spine still carries the blueprint of an animal that once walked very differently. That is why back pain is so common today. And then there is childbirth. Among mammals, human birth is unusually difficult. Our babies have enormous brains. But the mother's pelvis must also remain narrow enough for walking upright. Those two evolutionary pressures collided. The result is one of the most dangerous births in the animal kingdom. It almost feels as if the human body wasn't perfectly designed for this world. That idea has inspired countless theories. Some claim humans came from another planet. Others believe we were genetically engineered. Some even argue that civilization itself began with visitors from the stars. It sounds exciting, almost convincing. But before we accept any extraordinary explanation, we need to understand something far more surprising, because evolution often produces creatures that look imperfect. Yet those imperfections tell the story of where they truly came from. Throughout history, humans have always looked up at the stars and wondered if we came from them. Ancient civilizations filled the sky with stories. Gods descending from the heavens, visitors bringing knowledge, messengers from distant worlds. Thousands of years later, the stories changed. The stars stayed the same. Today, some people ask a different question. What if life itself came from space? Surprisingly, this idea isn't science fiction. It is a real scientific hypothesis called panspermia. The idea is simple. Not that humans arrived on Earth in spaceships, but that the earliest ingredients of life, or even microscopic life itself, may have traveled through space on comets or meteorites. Scientists have discovered something remarkable. Meteorites contain complex organic molecules. Some even carry amino acids, the tiny building blocks used by every living organism on Earth. Space may not be as empty as it looks, but here is where things become even more interesting. Even if life's ingredients came from space, that doesn't mean humans did. The evidence hidden inside your DNA tells a very different story. Every living creature on Earth, from the smallest bacteria to the largest blue whale, uses the same genetic language, the same DNA code, the same molecular alphabet. Humans share nearly 99% of their DNA with chimpanzees. We also share genes with mice, with chickens, even with bananas. That would be almost impossible if humans had evolved on an entirely different planet. Instead, your DNA tells the story of billions of years of evolution, right here on Earth. The fossil record tells the same story. Every ancestor, every transition, every tiny evolutionary step connects modern humans to earlier species, not with one giant leap, but with millions of tiny changes, spread across an unimaginable amount of time. So, if science points so strongly toward Earth, why do so many people still feel as though humans don't quite belong here? The answer has almost nothing to do with aliens, and everything to do with the most powerful organ in your body. Your brain is extraordinary, but it comes with a strange side effect. It constantly searches for patterns, even when none exist. Imagine looking up at the night sky. Thousands of stars, scattered across the darkness. Your brain doesn't see random points of light. It connects them. It creates constellations, stories, shapes, meaning. This ability helped your ancestors survive. Recognizing patterns meant recognizing danger. A movement in the grass, a change in the weather, a familiar animal track. Finding patterns kept people alive. But sometimes, that same system connects things that aren't actually connected. Psychologists call this pattern recognition. It's one of the most powerful abilities the human brain has ever developed. And sometimes, it leads us to extraordinary conclusions, a strange monument, an unexplained carving, an ancient myth. Instead of asking, what evidence do we have? Our brains naturally ask, could this be connected? That is one reason alien theories are so fascinating. They offer one simple answer to many complicated questions. But science works differently. Science doesn't ask, what sounds exciting? It asks, what does the evidence actually show? And so far, every new discovery points back to the same conclusion. Humanity wasn't dropped onto Earth overnight. We were shaped here, one generation at a time, one mutation at a time, one tiny change after another, over millions of years. Ironically, the very flaws people use as evidence that humans don't belong on Earth may actually be the strongest evidence that we do. Because evolution doesn't create perfect creatures, it creates creatures that survive. And survival is very different from perfection. But there is one final twist, one that makes this story even stranger than the alien theory itself. But here is the strangest part. In one way, you really are connected to the stars. Not because you arrived in a spaceship, not because an alien civilization created humanity, but because every atom inside your body has a history that began long before Earth existed. About 13.8 billion years ago, the universe was born. At first, there was almost nothing, mostly hydrogen and helium, the heavier elements that make up your bones. Your blood, your brain, didn't exist yet. They had to be created. Only one place in the universe could make them, the hearts of stars. For millions of years, ancient stars burned brighter and hotter. Deep inside them, carbon was formed, oxygen, iron, calcium, the very elements your body depends on today. Then those stars died. Some exploded in enormous supernovas. scattering those elements across space. That cosmic dust drifted through the galaxy for millions of years. Eventually, some of it gathered together. It formed our sun. It formed the Earth. And billions of years later, it became you. The iron in your blood was once inside a dying star. The calcium in your bones was forged in stellar fire. Even the oxygen you breathe exists because ancient stars lived and died. In that sense, every human being is made from material that once traveled through space, not aliens, but stardust. Perhaps that is why looking at the night sky feels strangely familiar. The atoms inside your body were born among those stars, and after billions of years, they learned to ask questions about the universe that created them. So, what if humans were never meant to live on Earth? Science gives a surprising answer. You were absolutely meant to live here, because this planet shaped every step of your evolution. But the ingredients that made you possible are far older than Earth itself. The real answer was never that humans are aliens. The real answer is far stranger. You are the universe, trying to understand itself. If humans aren't aliens, why does the idea feel so believable? Because deep down, every human has experienced the same feeling. The feeling of looking up at the night sky and wondering, is there someone else out there? That question is ancient, long before telescopes, long before rockets, long before science. Your ancestors looked at the same stars. They imagined worlds beyond their own. Today, scientists ask the same question. Only now, they use powerful telescopes instead of myths. Over the past few decades, astronomers have discovered thousands of planets orbiting distant stars. Some are rocky like Earth. Some are giant worlds made of gas. A few even exist in what scientists call the habitable zone, where liquid water could exist. The search continues. But despite decades of exploration, there is still no confirmed evidence that intelligent alien civilizations have ever visited Earth. That doesn't mean they don't exist. It simply means we don't know yet. Science is comfortable saying those three words. We don't know. Because every great discovery begins there. Maybe one day, humanity will detect a signal from another civilization. Maybe astronauts will discover simple microbial life beneath the ice of Europa, or beneath the dusty surface of Mars, or maybe we will discover that life is incredibly rare. At this moment, nobody knows, and that's what makes the universe so fascinating. Every answer creates a bigger question. Every mystery leads to another. So the next time you look up at the stars, remember this. You don't need to be an alien to have a connection with the universe. Your body was built on Earth. Your mind evolved on Earth. But the atoms inside you were born in ancient stars billions of years before our planet existed. The universe didn't send strangers to Earth. It slowly became Earth. Then it became life. Then it became you. A species capable of asking perhaps the greatest question of all. Where did we come from? And perhaps that endless curiosity is the most extraordinary thing about being human.